I do want to begin with the FBI Agents Association warning, because that is a big deal.
I mean, it's a huge deal because they're talking about the safety of the nation. They aren't just saying that this is a shutdown that's affecting people's paychecks, which is a very big and important deal. They are talking about the fact that people are getting less safe. We're also hearing that from the TSA agents who are wondering about what happens to hiring, to retention, to keeping people on these jobs that are fundamental to, again, safety. And that is a really big escalation.
And, Amy, that's a presidential priority. Donald Trump talks about wanting to make America safe again. That's a line that we've heard from him again and again. And yet you have this shutdown that seems to be, according to the FBI Agents Association, having the opposite effect.
Yeah, the State Department had to cancel a border security conference. The irony is lost on the president because, according to the reporting out of the Wall Street Journal this morning, he thinks he's winning the standoff and he's going to wait out the Democrats. There's evidence now on the ground. This is affecting Trump voters in Trump communities, where the spillover effect from the salaries of federal workers that are no longer spent at the barbershop, the grocery store, the car mechanic, are affecting the entire community and really cutting into GDP. Those numbers are going to become more and more apparent.
Although Larry Kudlow told me yesterday, well, it's going to be a real quick snapback. He thinks immediate snapback when the government reopens. And I said, Larry, how do you know that? This is not, we've never seen this before, this kind of long shutdown.
This is the argument being made by the Coast Guard and the FBI is it's amazing that the Republicans can still defend, especially the Senate Republicans up for re-election next year, the concept of keeping all of these agencies shut down, where the offer from the Democrats was, let's just fight over the Department of Homeland Security, but then have every other agency get up and running. And it's really hard to defend not doing that.
So is that enough, Doug, to move the needle here? Do you think what AB's talking about, what Kelsey's talking about, with these warnings now from people tasked with keeping our country safe and safety and security, do you think that helps push this thing in one direction or the other?
I think it helps at the congressional level. And I think one of the reasons why in the Senate they're taking this vote is because Senate Republicans are feeling a lot of pressure and they need to take a vote so they can tell their folks back home that they're doing something. But I'm not sure if it impacts the president, because I'm not sure if he has any empathy. And so I think he sees these reports about people having to wait in line to get food and make a decision on co-payments or sending their or prescription drugs. And I'm not sure if he really cares about that.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
Is it that he doesn't? I don't know, right? But could it be that he sees that and he understands that and he talks about that, but he thinks border security is just more important?
Well,
that's just more of a priority.
I'm not sure if he actually does talk about it. He had he
tweets about it. He says these folks who feel them, etc.
Yeah, but his focus, his primary focus, is fulfilling a campaign promise, which is to build this wall, which he also added was supposed to be paid for by Mexico. It's not being paid for by Mexico. That's his focus. That's his primary focus. It's not these folks who are suffering and having a really hard time. I think that is the focus for most members of Congress and many senators.
Because they're hearing from their constituents
about it. They're hearing from it every day.
They were just home over the weekend hearing from their constituents. I was talking to House members that came back last night, and they said this is the only thing that they heard about when they were at home was about the shutdown and needing to do something.
Nancy Pelosi was actually at a food bank. I think we saw it. I think we aired some of it live, actually, on this network when she was out visiting with people here in Washington that are literally standing in line to try to get food, these federal employees. Right after that, she went to the Hill, and she made some comments about where she stands on this. And I'd be curious as to your take.
Let me be very clear. Open up government. Open the government. Let's talk. You cannot have the president every time he has an objection to say, I'll shut down government until you come to my way of thinking. Understand, that is part of the point of this. If we hold the employees hostage now, they're hostage forever.
So Nancy Pelosi is making the argument, if we open the government up now, we're just going to give in to the president forever. Lindsey Graham is making the exact same argument from the other side of the aisle to President Trump on the Republican side.
The term hostage is really starting to get powerful in the Capitol. People are starting to feel like these federal workers are actually being held hostage by an argument that even if they agreed to continue fighting about border security and about immigration in general, immigration is not something where Democrats even agree within themselves or Republicans agree within themselves. And so to make opening the government contingent upon some massive bipartisan agreement on immigration, that becomes really, really hard and could mean months and months more of this.
The president insists that there is unity inside the Republican Party.
Well, so far there is. It's been remarkable. I've been surprised that beyond Cory Gardner, a senator from a state that Hillary Clinton won in 2016, Susan Collins, a senator from Maine, a state that Hillary Clinton won in 2016, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who goes her own way and just won re-election. There have not been more Republican senators coming out and joining them and saying we have to reopen government before we face this behemoth and try to find a compromise on immigration. I'm stunned that people in North Carolina, Iowa, Georgia, and Texas, who are going to face incredible Democratic energy in a presidential election cycle next year, are not more worried about what their constituents are saying.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.